Welcome to Part 6 of JavaFX Tables. In this video, we'll take a look at how the start method works to load and set up both the fxml files and the controller. We'll take a look at the fish form example and examine its start methods. Here we're looking at the main app fx class that starts off our fish form. We can see our logger waiting for us to use it. A class variable for the primary stage. We're going to be receiving this from the application superclass, and we're going to store it here. The fish DAO and the fish data are two of our own objects, persistence and a bean, that we will pass on to the form controller so that it can be shared. We have our constructor called to super, and then we have the creation of the fish DAO and the fish data. By creating these two objects here, we could pass them to any class in our system as long as we're creating it here in main app fx. It means that everyone is using one instance of the fish DAO and one instance of the fish data. Every JavaFX application must have a start method. We see the @override to remind us that this is coming to us from our superclass. Must be called start, and it receives as a parameter stage primary stage. The stage is our window. This is created for us by the application. Little logging message to let people know where we're at, and the first thing I do is make a copy of that stage. This way I could use it in other methods or even other classes if necessary. Many of the books or articles on the web that you'll see will then go about doing all the work to set up the application in start. I prefer to take the code specific to dealing with an fxml file and move it into its own method. We'll look at that in a moment. Once all that's configured, we'd like to set a title on our primary stage. Now the title has to be retrieved from the resource bundle. The resource bundle will be loaded in a later method. We can see it down here, where we're loading it so that the fxml is aware of it. But if we wish to access the bundle from other code, we have to use the getBundle static method of resource bundle, giving the name of the bundle file, and then getString with the key. This is called messages bundle. So if we have multiple messages bundles in different languages, the correct language will be selected based on the operating system that you're using. At this point, everything's set to go. We'll show the stage and the application will begin. Let's look at our configure stage. Here are the key steps to get the fxml to load, to connect it to its controller, and be ready to work. The first step is to create an object of type fxml_loader. This is going to be the factory that takes care of setting everything up for us. With the loader in place, the first thing we need to tell it is where is the fishform.fxml file. Notice we're using getResource, which is the technique we use whenever we wish to access a file that's inside of our jar. With the location in place, the next thing we need to do is connect it to a resource bundle. Once this is in place, all of the references to the bundle, all the keys that appear in our fxml form can now be resolved. Now it is possible to associate a messages bundle file to the fxml file. However, that only assists in the display of the information in Scene Builder. we still must explicitly load the resource bundle into the loader. With all of that in place, the location of the fxml file, the message bundles, we're ready to load the fxml. The return value is an object, and we need to cast it to whatever is the root container. The form was grid pane. Of course, any pane could be that. We assign this to a special object called parent. Parent exists because it is compatible with all the panes. So it's not necessary to match grid pane parent equals casting grid pane, but we can just say parent and it's happily compatible with anything we place here. At this point, we're almost ready to display our work. Our pane is loaded. It's time now to build our first scene. The scene is instantiated with the parent. The scene then goes on to the stage. At this point, we are technically finished. We could return, if we come back up here, we could return to the primary stage.show after, configure stage, set the title, and display the results. However, we need to be able to pass the fish DAO and the fish data to the controller. There was no constructor that we could use because everything is handled by the loader. So instead, we must retrieve from the loader a reference to the controller that it created. If we do not have any messages we wish to send to the controller, this line is not required. But we have one specific message on the next line. It's the set fish DAO data, where I pass the fish data and fish DAO objects to the controller, so they will be using the same two objects as any other class in our system. With these in place, of course, we will return to the end of configure stage. As I said a moment ago, we'll display a title and then show. When show is executed, the program is now off and running. We have some other methods in here worth pointing out. Well, actually only two others. There's stop. We saw that platform.exit in the exit action event closes the program. We don't want to use system.exit. Well, by using platform.exit, it will cause the method called stop to automatically be executed just before the program ends. If there's any last steps, any last operations that need to be performed, they can be done here. You'll notice, though, that the one thing that cannot be done in the stop is to cancel the exit. If stop is being closed, the program will end immediately after the stop method executes. For now, I'm just logging info. And the final thing I've added is also something we've seen before. It's a method to create a dialog box. In this case, rather than information, it'll be an error dialog. It will show some text, and notice, as we did earlier in this class, we're retrieving that text directly from the bundle. Message will end up being the exception that led us to this, and we will proceed to show this dialog. If we move back, we can see here when we do configure stage, it's in a try and in a catch. We're going to log the error. We're going to produce the dialog box so our user knows that something's wrong. And we're going to do a system.exit. Why not a platform.exit? because to arrive at this catch with this particular exception, as you can see from the comments, it will occur when we're trying to retrieve either the fish form fxml or the message bundle. JavaFX has not actually started up yet. So platform.exit would not do anything. Here we have to use our system.exit, and by using a number other than 0, it's clear that we're exiting because of some type of error condition. So there you have it. There's how we start our program. We've seen the other components. We looked at the fish form in class today, and now I can get back to packing for my trip. Have a great week. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter to find out what I've been up to. Bye for now.